What up? What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. Blood Splatter Chatter. We are live. Verno and the Missing Link doing a Monday fun day triple feature in a way. We're going to be focusing on Dolly. That's going to be like the main one that we get to. But then I want to wrap it up definitely by spending a little bit of time talking Thrash and Primate, which was supposed to be our double feature last week before your boy got sick and couldn't pull it off. But the Missing Link, my brother. What's cracking?
Yo, what's going on, guys? Happy to be here. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting triple feature. But yeah, that cold going around, man. Bro, I don't know if it was the same for you, but I got a cold about a month ago, and I don't think I'd been that sick from a cold in a minute. Like
Dude,
that shit took me out.
it wasn't like how long were you sick? Because that's the thing for me. I wasn't like really sick, but it's just been
It
like
lingered.
lingering like a
Yeah,
bitch,
yeah,
dude. I
yeah.
never had COVID as far as I know, at least. Like when COVID kicked off, I don't think I even had a sniffle or any kind of symptom for like a 2.5 year stretch. Like I never like was even like suspicious that I had it. But this was the first time I'm like, fuck, do I have the COVID? Because I lost my smell completely for a day. Like I'd never had that. Did you have
No,
it?
that no. I was same situation as you. I was like, yo, mate. I started to think I could possibly be, but I was like, am I like one of those carriers where I just don't see symptoms, but meanwhile I've just got this shit? Because I never had any symptoms. With this cold, I was like, maybe I finally caught COVID because it's
Right.
like
That's
I
what I thought.
my sinuses were fucked up for like 3 weeks. Like I was, it was like a bet. Like I didn't throw up or anything, but I had the chills, sweating for like a week, which I thought was odd for a cold. I was expecting to like, I was like, am I in like a flu or something? But flu never
Right.
came. But yeah, the congestion lasted for like 2.5 weeks after, which I was just like, bro, is this COVID? You know? But
It's been bad.
it's gone.
Well, we
Yeah.
both we both have kids, and now I'm like finally getting a dose of that where it's just constant. Like my wife loves to go to Goodwill. I keep on blaming it on her because she's playing with these filthy toys at Goodwill. We got to clean her up. But anyway, she was really sick for a hot minute. It was not like in a scary way, but like the sickest that I'd seen it. My wife's poking in. Yes, it's the Goodwill toys, Anna. It's the goddamn Goodwill toys. She's on top of it. But anyway, back to horror, or starting with horror. All right, so again, we're gonna do Dolly, Thrash, and Primate. I'll try to put for those of you guys joining on the replay. I'll try to break it up, like whatever they call it. Put the timestamps in to make it a little bit easier. But I do have this in case I forget. You'll see which one we're on by that. But okay, Dolly, my brother. This was a first time director that did this one, Rod Blackhurst, and it's based on his short film called Baby Girl, which is just like pretty much a shorter version of this. I looked for it on YouTube and I couldn't find it. But the premise for this one, it's got Sean William Scott in it, and it's got a female played by Fabian Therese. I looked through her filmography. I didn't really know her for anything, but if you're not realizing who Sean William Scott is, I'll say Stifler, which is the much more recognizable way to address the guy. But anyway, it's basically this porcelain doll wearing lady. They go out into the woods. The guy is going to propose to the girl. He hears a noise. He goes off instantly. Like with 15 minutes into the movie, he's kind of taken out of the movie. So you're like, shit, I wanted to see Stifler, yada, yada. The woman ends up being held captive in the house for a good chunk of the movie. And she's treating her like a role playing thing, like a baby. And that's pretty much the gist of it. We'll get into the rest of it as we go. But instantly, I'm thinking of two things. My wife mentions Barbarian, where you've got the bottle scene where she's booping the nose. It's the same concept. This creature wants to treat you as a baby, which is just something really creepy about that. And then the other one was, and why am I drawing a blank on it now? Oh, there was a short and a VHS. I think was that VHS Halloween that came out just this year. You remember that? There was like a really similar thing in that one where it was like the same exact premise where it was basically the same exact thing.
Was it
Someone
by that
pretended to be
dude? Was he? Did he?
no,
Okay.
no, I don't think so unless it is and I'm tripping, but I don't think so. But it was in that VHS Halloween. It was they all blend together, but very very similar concept. But before I send it to you, I'll just say real quick, it's shot on 16 millimeter. It feels very cheap just because of that. But like you kind of get used to that. And it was an aesthetic choice or whatever. The movie starts and I'm like, I'm kind of into it. Like okay, like, you know, Stifler and this girl, it's gonna be pretty good. As soon as he's taken out of the movie, I'm like, fuck, like that was half of my draw to it. But then, like, the more it goes on, like, it kept on, it feels really cheap, and it's not a very good movie, and it's like the plot is paper thin, but there's enough like gross moments and memorable bits throughout the movie, and a few moments of like serious tension, and the look of Dolly is good enough that by the end of it, I'm like, all right, I'll watch the sequel. Like, I hear they want to do a prequel and a sequel.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's not great,
Yep.
but it will be a thing, and some people are gonna love it. Most people are gonna think it's shit, but it's not bad. It's pretty all right.
I'm right there with you. Like I immediately I was like, oh bro, you guys sold us like on the Stiffmeister. Like that was the like that was all in the trailers. Like, and he's only well, not to spoil it, but it's interesting what they do with his role in the movie.
I'd say spoiler alert. I mean,
Okay.
whatever. This is what we do here. We both think it's watchable. If you want to tune out, check it out and come back. But yeah, I mean, they incapacitate him for a large chunk of the movie, and we're led to believe that he's dead 15 minutes in. So I'm right at that point, I'm a little bit mad at the movie. I'm like, okay, yeah, you Drew Barrymore.
It made me, it came off like I was like, oh, he did this role for a friend. You know, clearly the director is a friend, and he was like, oh yeah, I'll star in your fucking movie for 10 minutes. You know, that's how it came off.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. There's something to it. Like, it's like the chick isn't like the strongest lead, but there's enough interesting dynamics going on. Like the whole it's like Barbarian meets Texas Chainsaw in a sense.
1,000% Texas Chainsaw. What Dolly is, I feel like, is Leatherface with a porcelain mask on, where you're not really sure if it's a dude or a chick. You know what I mean? Like, she's like doing this weird stuff with her fingers, and she's kind of like, you can tell, like, kind of like the feel that you get from Leatherface is that he grew up being abused, and he's got PTSD or something from that, and that's big time what you get from Dolly.
And it's, you know, I don't know if it's the best way to say it, but it's almost like the hillbilly version of Texas Chainsaw, where, you know, Leatherface has the chainsaw, Dolly has the shovel, which is Dolly is very efficient with the shovel. Come dig some shit for me any day. But yeah, man, this was an interesting one. I think if people really give it a chance, that they'll come around to it. I think it'd be easy to kind of like pick apart its flaws, but I think it has more. It's got more bonuses than more pros than cons. I think the stylistic choice works. Like the look of the film fits the grittiness of it, especially when we see, you know, with the Stiffmeister. There's really cool shots that just the grit enhances the gore, you know. And there are interesting themes. There's a little bit of I don't want to say necessarily Stockholm syndrome, but with the heroine, I feel like at the end didn't necessarily really want to take Dolly out. Like, it was like spoiler, but forced to. You know, there's some interesting themes for a movie that's kind of like if it's runtime's quick, very, you know, it's not a long movie. You know, for essentially a slasher in the woods, it's got enough going for it. For you can tell if they had a little bit more money, a little bit more production time. Like you said, I'd definitely be down for a prequel / sequel wherever they go. I'm there to see it.
Yeah, which is supposedly that's what, again, Rod Blackhurst, who hasn't done anything. So I think this is kind of his this is his first major project, and he's like, yeah, I'll run this motherfucker till the wheels fall off, more or less. But I would definitely agree with you. The lead, again, her name Fabian Therese, I think that's how you pronounce it. And Dolly's played by a female wrestler, Max the Impaler, who I'm not familiar with, but she looks fucking gnarly outside of the Dolly costume. But Fabian Therese, not that she's it's not even that she's that bad. Yeah, it is a woman.
Okay. Wow.
I'm looking at the calves the whole time, and I'm like,
same here, bro. The calves. Yeah. I always thought it was a dude. I was like, oh, those are some fucking strong calves, bro. Like, man.
At one point, she busts out a titty, though, and I'm like, I'm looking at my titty. I'm looking at this titty. It's possible. I don't know.
I was like, that spent most of the money on those prosthetics right there. That's what came in my mind.
But anyway, back to the female lead. It's not like she's even that bad. Like, she's fine, but there's so many moments in the movie where, like, she should be fucking freaking out. and she's not. Like, she's like way too calm for many chunks of the movie. And but at the end, like, she kind of freaks out and loses it at certain points where there should have been a lot
And it
more of that.
works. Yeah, no, I'm right. I fully agree with that. It almost feels like this, it probably I was shocked to hear you say that this wasn't her first role. It kind of felt like that. Like you could tell she was very excited. I don't know. There seems something very wet behind the ears of her, but she
For sure.
at the same time. Oh
no, go ahead. I'm looking up her filmography. Go ahead.
At the same time, there is like a vulnerability there. Like I think at first, the first half of the movie, she comes off unsure, but she kind of earns it by the end. Like by the end, I feel she's earned the emotional frame of mind she's in.
That's exactly how I felt about it. It's almost like she was saving, like, okay, I need to build up how panicked I am until this big release at the end or whatever. But there was a couple moments where like she's escaped in the house where she's away from Dolly, and like they show her and she's just kind of like walking around way too casually, or just, you know what I mean? You would think a different actress would have done a better job with that.
Yeah, no, like when they're doing the lap scene and Dolly's taking that whatever, that right there, I think with a more veteran actor could have been handled it could have been that scene was intense, but I think with a better, more vetted actor could have been way more memorable, because she's kind of like,
definitely,
yeah, I don't know, there's something about it that just doesn't, there's certain moments where she's not, her emotions aren't matching up with what the scene is supposed to be.
Exactly, not as intense as it could be. But at the same time, like when that specific scene is what I was talking about, that is some of the best tension in the movie, like specifically when she's walking away. You know what I mean? It reminds me of in Scream 2, or it happens a lot in movies, like the killer is down and they've got to sneak past Ghostface to get out of the car, or Jason's down, like, or Michael's down, and they've got to step over him to get to the exit. It's, it's a classic thing, but done really well, which will bring me into the next point, because that happens right after that in the movie. One of the only like twists or like outside element other than just like being super straightforward kidnapping movie is that there's someone else. As soon as she gets there, she hears a person in another room. You never see who it is. And they're saying like, just play along. They're acting like they're on their side. Get the key. They're giving them tips or whatever. And at this point, when she sneaks away from Dolly, she lets this person escape. And first of all, this is what I went through. Like they're just showing flashes of this person, and it looks like Bill Moseley from The Devil's Rejects. That's who I thought it was.
Real shit, yo. You know who it was?
Yeah. Ethan Suplee
blew my fucking mind once I had to really, because dog. I think him and Sean William Scott are really good friends, because they've been in a few projects together. I feel like, or a show. I feel like I've seen them, but I don't know. I was really shocked to see. Yeah, he was giving off Bill Moseley vibes to the fullest. I was happy, to be honest. I was happy to see him. But that scene right there, that was cool, because it kind of put a twist on the
best part of the movie, I think, in a way.
Yeah, it added this other, because it could have just been a straight up slasher, but with that moment right there, spoiler, we're doing spoilers. Yeah. It's revealed that the dude is Dolly's brother and has been abusing Dolly most of her life. So at that point right there,
brother, I thought it was her dad.
It could have been dead. I think she might have killed her brother. That other dude that was
right, the headless
knocked out, her uncle or some shit.
Okay,
but that adds another family member. Yeah, family member, sibling. Yeah, it's I'm blinking, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. But it added a layer, because don't get me wrong, Dolly's still fucking psycho, murderous killer, but I don't know. Maybe I was just in the right mood, but it's almost like I'm sympathetic towards it. I understand where Dolly's coming from, but she's been abused. It's almost like she's trying to protect Dolly's view of men. If you're taking the movie, is like she's been abused her whole life. Her view of men is terrible. So she sees this chick, and she's just trying to protect this girl from men. Her view of men, which she's experienced her entire life. So it almost adds like the sympathetic element to Dolly. I don't really think you get many times in slashers often. It was interesting. I'd love to see a prequel.
What my wife said is the way they're doing it, like it's the lesser of two evils. Like, who would you
Right.
pick? Do you want to be held captive by Dolly, who wants to baby you and do this weird role playing shit, which is super fucking gross, but she's not hurting you? Or
Right.
this guy that's making it clear he's got plans for you, sister. I'm not done with you by a country mile, and he is ripped. Have you
He's a big
seen what this dude
yo,
looks like
yeah.
these days?
He
To be clear,
transformed.
for people that I guess we didn't really make it clear who we were talking about. The actor's name is Ethan Suplee, or however you pronounce it. I wouldn't have known it. He's Randy from My Name Is Earl. He's the fat guy from American History X.
Mallrats staring at the painting,
Mallrats,
baby.
yeah. Have you seen what he looks like? I mean, you see it a little bit in this movie, but like him
No, he's
straight up
cut.
without a shirt on is like one of the craziest transformations I've
to be
ever
honest,
seen.
he might have been in like a military role recently. To be honest, and I was really because that's how transformed he is. Like my man's has done a complete turnaround. He used to be part of that fucking. I don't know if you ever heard about it. There's like a Leonardo DiCaprio's Rat Pack, like him, Tobey
Yeah.
Maguire. He was part of that shit. I was shocked to find that out. I was like, big ups to him, man.
Yeah, right?
Yo, I respect that. Leo seems a little.
Me and my wife are going back and forth, and she's a huge, like, she loves My Name Is Earl, so she really knows
Classic.
him from that. And like we're looking at, we even had it paused on his face, and we had to look it up. Like, is this who we think it is?
Yeah,
Just because he
transformed.
looks so goddamn different. But in this role, he was amazing. Like, as far as like being like super intimidating and like
Yeah,
he was only really in the movie for what, 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Max.
Yep, 10
He
at the
gets
most.
introduced and they took him out. But I could see if they're gonna do a prequel, have him be in it for sure. He could almost be the lead
fucking,
or one of the main villains in the movie. He pretty much creates Dolly from what we're told. I'm gonna do to her face what I did to yours. Like he did shit
What
to
was
her in the past.
the fucking in the Texas Chainsaw 2000s, the fucking sheriff with the eyebrows. He was kind of like the head of the family. He could be like that role
Gunny.
almost. Yes, Gunny. Yes.
Gunny.
Yes.
I always forget it. What's the name of that goddamn Kubrick movie where he's the drill sergeant in the movie and he plays that role in everything that he does?
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, Full
Yes.
Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
I love him, and I love him in Texas Chainsaw 2003. I just wrote down just some bits, like some gnarly bits. There's obviously the opening with Sean William Scott, good, solid, your slasher stuff. It's the second movie, or two of the three movies that we're going to talk about. Someone gets their jaw ripped off. Happens in Primate too, pretty similar. But the baby bottle we mentioned, she's trying to feed her the baby bottle. She doesn't want it, and that's when she busts out the tit, and you're like, it's even grosser.
Oh my god.
Bites the nipple off, super gnarly. And then the other bit that's just like was like really fucked up was the girl pees herself. So Dolly's like, "Oh, I know what to do with this. You need to put a diaper on." So she's like wiping her, holding her legs up. It was gnarly, man.
It was very very uncomfortable, very disturbing. That scene, and when Sean William Scott, fucking bro, I was just like. I was trying to put myself in his frame of mind. You wake up, your ankle's been like halfway like decapitated by a shovel. Your jaw's been ripped off. And then when he fell, bro, and then he like falls because he tries to stand up, and he goes unconscious again, but wakes up again and still soldiering on, bro. I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I would have survived the first encounter. I don't know if I would have woken up the second time. He woke up 3 times.
He deserved to live with all the shit that he went through. I don't know. And then like, that's what I'm saying. Like halfway through the movie, I'm like, really like, I can see people shutting it off. Cause I've said a bunch of times, like gross out stuff. Like I think of movies like Cabin Fever or just things that are like, don't get me wrong. It's cool and I respect it, but it's not the way I like to get my jollies watching a horror movie.
Cabin Fever's an interesting one because I definitely get what you mean. Like I think shit like Cabin Fever, Hostel, like can definitely be viewed as just like, you guys are kind of going for shock factor. It could be argued that those movies they're good, great movies, but it could be argued that they're of early 2000s. A lot of 2000s was edgy and shock factor
for sure. Well, I'm talking more like Hostel. It's just like your straight up gore, your torture porn or whatever. With Cabin Fever, it's like this ick. You know what I mean? Like the like sickly, gross, sores on people's bodies.
Makes you
Like,
not want to be around anybody.
yeah, it's like this really lays heavy into that, but they don't. It's really just that one chunk of the movie where she's feeding her the bottle and the nipple and all that. And yeah, Fable says bites the nipple off. I'm sold. It's a gnarly part. I was glad that it's not like all that. There is some more. I do wish there was another kill or two. Like they keep the story so simple that they don't want to messy it up by bringing in more characters just to kill, which is what most straight up slasher movies would do. So I get why they didn't, but it could have used for me like another kill or two in the movie, because the other one we get is the cop.
The cop, yeah, I was just gonna say that I dug that, but it could have been a little bit gnarlier. But at the same time, it was like I just imagine it's like, bro, what would someone's reaction be to fucking a full like this? Look at the stock of this woman right here, a full swing from a shovel, bro, to the back of the head. What would the reaction be? You know, it's pretty on point. But I agree. Maybe like a partner, because you remember he called his fight. He like, we got another one. You know, maybe someone could have came and checked it out, and we could have got like 2 or 3 more kills out of that.
That's what it would have been. There would have either been like they get there and there's some other person that's already at the house that
Right.
Dolly kills, you get another kill, or someone would have had to stumble across it in the house or something. It would have been like it would have felt forced. And like that is one thing the story has going for it. It really is organic. There's nothing where you're questioning too much, like why is this happening or whatever.
I feel like because it's not really origin, but I almost feel like to get more kills, you could have even had Dolly's been collecting other people, like even maybe other girls, but when they try to escape, she's either forcing her hand to kill him. You know, we get like maybe one instead of like. It could have been the brother. I don't know. Brother's locked up in a different room, and then she's got like the girls in a different room and shit. And if they try to escape, they kind of force her hand. And you could have got some more interesting scenes out of that, where it's like maybe say Dolly kills one of the girls trying to escape, and Dolly's really disturbed by that because she wanted to protect the girls, but it's like it's almost like when a kid has an accident, they're like, crying over spilt milk. Not that right. The life is spilt milk, but kids will get really emotionally heightened or set off by something that can be easily. That's not a good analogy either. But Dolly's emotional state.
I'm looking it up right now, and he is her father. They do reveal that it's her father. It's just he's gotten to the age where it's like, oh yeah, he would be a grown woman's dad.
That's one thing about getting older. It's like it's always a shock to see like, sir, like, no, what? I remember him from this. He's that age permanently in my head, right. Like
he's the grandfather. He was born in 76, so he's only 7 years older than me. He's damn, Jesus fucking Christ. He's 50. And that's making me realize how close I'm getting to 50. So, oh my God.
You know what? If we the millennial generation has
49. 49. I'm sorry.
We up the stakes as we always do. We're the bridge generation. But I think when I was younger, me personally, I used to think like someone at 30, I was like, hey, you better get your life in order, bro, because by 40 it's a wrap,
Right.
But I don't even think 40 is middle age anymore. I think a solid 50 is like I don't even think 50's old. I think you're not young at 50.
30.
Yes. Yeah. So I think 40 is not even.
Telling myself.
It's facts. It's facts, bro. Especially for us.
All right. I'm looking through it. I think we done did it, man. It's a pretty straightforward slasher that I don't know. It won't be for everyone, but it's going to be for a lot of people. I meant to look at the reviews on Shudder to see like that crowd, like the audience that it's aimed directly at, what their reviews were. Maybe I'll look over just see how many skulls it has, but it has a 60. Fucking right. I tried to write Shudder. I just wrote skull. It's got a 64% on Rotten Tomato and a 5 on IMDb, which kind of makes sense.
That match, I feel like that's actually very good for those sources, for IMDb and shit.
With over 50 and nowhere near dead. It's good to hear. All right,
that's good. What I love to hear. Yeah,
we'll be all right. I'm not signing into you, Shudder. I don't have time for all that. But anyway,
Rotten Tomato, yeah.
I'm just kind of curious. What's it
What?
at? Oh my god, are you kidding me? It has one skull on Shudder. That is
How many
crazy
people
to me.
have
That's not.
reviewed
I
it?
feel like that's not right. Just because I'm
Make sure
looking through
that's
here, I'm seeing a
updated.
bunch of 4s and 5s. I have a feeling it's
Okay.
just a glitch in the matrix
Okay.
because there's just no way as I'm looking at it. Don't get me wrong. Like as I look at it, 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 3, 5, 5, 1, 2. So it's bullshit. There's no way that's actually
Yeah, that the one's not lining up. There's no way.
for
Not even
sure.
I don't even see it too, to be honest. But that can be argued. Everything can be argued.
Well, that brings us into where we're at, man. Where you at on it, man? Who needs a score?
Man, you
You know
know,
what? I just like to see. I don't know. There is something about knowing what other people are saying. I'm almost more interested in what, especially for
you
a movie
enjoyed
like
it.
this. What are the people saying on Shudder, rather than like
Yeah.
what does Roger Ebert have to say about this movie? It
Someone
just
who's not necessarily gonna enjoy they're someone who's not looking for this movie is gonna be easy to pick apart and critique this movie. You know, that's what there is the discrepancy there. You know, that I always feel like there's a like a genre score and a universal score in a way.
right.
You know,
That's
but
like
that being said,
IMBD. I heard someone once say add 2 points, and it's
yes,
almost spot on. If you've got a 6.5 on IMBD, it's a good horror. That's a really good rating.
yes, that's a solid. Yeah,
It's more of like an 8. You
right.
know,
Yeah,
something
in a
like
horror
that.
genre, that's an 8 movie. Yes, that's perfectly said. But you want to kick it off, or you want me
No,
to?
go ahead. Yeah. What do you give it, Dolly, out of 5? Anybody that has seen it, if you're in the chat, go ahead and throw it out there.
I'll give this to man. I had to. This movie it was interesting. I'll give this one a 4. Honestly, I think for a new slasher, I think there's enough stuff there, and for Dolly made quite the entrance, and I think there could be some. So some I don't know. There's something there. Like there could be some more mythos developed, and I could see Dolly being up there with Art, the clown, for new modern slasher or horror
Especially
icon.
if they especially if they lean into it next time and
Yeah.
go crazy on the kills. Like give us a bunch of kills. I don't think she'll ever be as it's just not as universally like a cool. I mean, I shouldn't say that because I do like the design, but I think Art the Clown's going to appeal to more
That's
people
because
than this
people have a fear of
creepy
clowns.
bottle feeding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is a niche thing. But
If
having
if
said
it's
that,
if they start off with and if they do a prequel, I would have it be you could do something cool, like show that, if we're doing some fucking Michael Myers type shit, Rob Zombie flashbacks, show that Dolly was really fascinated with dolls as a girl, and like the first prototype, the first mask was very ugly, almost maybe like some Leatherface type shit, and it evolved into the Dolly that we know her as in a sense. I think there's potential there. They just got to handle it right.
right. Let me ask you this before I give the score. Like, did it matter to you to see her face? Like, because me and my wife brought it up because she watched it with me, and I'm like, honestly, I don't need to see her face like at all. Like they kind of show it, but I didn't care.
If they would have revealed it, I feel like I'm like, oh, that's cool, but I know it didn't matter to the overall story.
Right.
Like
It wasn't like I was dying to see it.
Because they tease you though, because there are moments where like it's like they're breaking apart the mask, and you're like, oh shit, what's this fucking beast look like? Especially, I thought it was a dude playing the role of Dolly the entire time. Those calf muscles, I'm so shocked you said the calf muscles, because I saw that, because I was trying to assess that, diagnose it. I was like, no, those calves look pretty masculine, man. So I'm very shout out to that actress. I really look for. I think there's. It's the plot. It is paper thin, man. But I think given some time and a higher production budget, that they could definitely make some more iconic.
Here, let me pull up. This is her. Whoa, that doesn't help. I'm on the wrong screen to zoom in. Well, first of all, those are the calves. But this is that. Yeah, that's Max the Impaler. That's who's playing Dolly. It's
Shout
like,
out.
Yeah, you see why you might be confused. You might wonder, she's a Dolly, but then you get this.
That one in the middle. That one, yeah. That I was gonna say, yeah. That I was gonna say, they can definitely dress her down. Or she's a good character actor.
Definitely. I'm gonna give it a 3.75. 7.5 though. I was between like a
Yeah.
3.5. It won me over. Like it really did. Like that's I told you afterwards, like I don't even know what to make of this thing. Like it was a trip. I was like kind of liking it more and more and more by the end. And I was like, okay. By the end, I was like not too shabby, especially for what it was, being a Shudder original. But hell yeah, man, 3.5
Yeah.
from me, or 3.75 from me, 4 from you. And let us move on, man. That is Dolly. It's on Shudder. And the next one, let me bring you up. The next one is Thrash. So let me pull up the info on Thrash right quick, my brother. So directed by Tommy Wirkola, who I think he's a Swedish guy. And I'm gonna blow your mind because we just fucking talked about this guy. I don't know what show we were talking about him. This is from the director of Dead Snow 1 and 2 and Violent Night. And Violent
No
Night 2, which is coming
shit.
up. Yeah. This was I think it was Sony. I could be wrong. Nope, don't quote me on that. But this was intended to be a theatrical release that through the process, I don't know why, maybe they didn't believe in it fully, or I don't know how these things happen, but they ended up selling it to Netflix. So it came out on Netflix and didn't go to theater. But yeah,
That makes a lot of sense.
I was already remember being surprised when I was like, oh shit, the guy that did Dead Snow 1 and 2, which is like, how would you describe that for people that haven't seen it? It's a Nazi zombie, Swedish zombie comedy, right?
Yeah, horror comedy. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, the fact that he did Violent Night was like, we were like, oh shit. And the fact that he did this. Now, I'll preface this by saying this. I was saying this to my wife. I'll go into a movie like this. It's kind of the same way that you're judging a slasher movie. I don't need too much. I've got my expectations set down here. You just need to meet a few different things and you've done your job. And I'm happy. It's a fucking shark movie. Like, it doesn't need to be anything crazy.
No life-changing shit. Yeah.
For sure. So the premise for it really have you seen Crawl by chance?
That's that another great creature feature.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like the same exact. It's like Crawl with sharks instead of an alligator, a crocodile, or whatever they are.
Yep.
They're in Florida, I think it is. There's a hurricane, a levee breaks, so the town is flooded. Somehow there's not much wind, which my wife pointed out. It's not a very windy hurricane, but whatever. We'll just skip past that. But this is the other thing that my wife hated. I thought it was cool. I actually loved it. The thing that draws in all the sharks is there's a blood truck, a truck that's filled with cow blood, which we looked it up. That is a real thing. They use cow blood for all sorts of different products, and occasionally it is shipped in oil tankers like this, or something like an oil tanker. But it gets demolished and it leaks out all this beef blood into this flooded town, and it attracts all these sharks, and chaos ensues. You've got a pregnant woman, and you've got all these different groups. It's kind of set up like a blockbuster Marvel movie or any kind of action thing where you've got all your different characters. They're in different locations. You've got the dude from Blood Diamond and A Quiet Place and the MCU.
Damon Hunsu. That man does not age, man. Like, I know he's got to be in like his somewhere in his 50s, maybe even 60s, man. Like, if you were to shave, you wouldn't be able to really. You'd probably say like, yeah, that's solid, like late 30s, 40s. But yeah, he's like the biggest name in it.
Nate, not a fan, which I understand. I talked to one person that's seen this, and they didn't like it. But however, I enjoyed it. I had fun with it, man. It's not a good movie. But I think they did a good job. I don't need much from a movie like this. First of all, I already said that, but they did a good job with having these few different cast of characters all separated and it being very clear. You were never kind of questioning the story. They're keeping it simple. You
knew what the kids at the house were trying to do. You knew everyone's role.
Right.
Yes.
What's his name? Damon Hansu. How do you pronounce his name?
Damon Hansu. I could probably not even pronouncing it right, but Hansu.
He's got a niece that is trapped in this, and he's the outside guy trying to get to it. You got some people trapped. You've got a pregnant woman. You've got this group of people that are like being raised by this asshole foster parent. So you're like, okay, he's going down, and it is paint by number, and there's nothing special about it. But I was entertained for an hour and 25 minutes or whatever. And even at the beginning of it, for the first like half hour, I'm telling myself like this could go down as like being a movie that gets mentioned when you're, just like, oh, this was a pretty good shark movie, and
Throw
that was a
something on, yeah.
pretty good shark movie, like along with those animal attacks movies. I think by the end of it, it gets corny enough that it's dropped down a rung or two, where it's like not going to be mentioned with Crawl necessarily, and the other ones that people do mention is some of the better movies of its kind. But still, for being a Netflix original shark movie,
I was impressed.
Not bad.
Yeah, I would. No, I'm right there with you. Like, I wasn't expecting much. Now that the fact that you said that it was it made me think. My thing about Netflix and their shit. How when they buy shit and then they produce shit on their own. Sometimes when they produce shit, they're straying away from it. But it was like a trending thing where it's like it's very flat and there's no exciting camera angles. I was like, man, they're really stepping up their game for this one, man. It's a little stylish. But yeah, there's nothing deep here. But the fact that it's there's nothing confusing, like you said. It's sharks are trying to fuck some shit up. People are trying to survive. It's got some very uncomfortable situations. Makes you kind of think what you would do. It's not super iconic or memorable, but like you said, I think the entire runtime is 25 minutes, but I looked at the credits when the credits rolled, like an hour and 16. There's like 9 minutes. It's got to be like 9 minutes of credits. Hour 16 minutes of sharks fucking some shit up. You get some cool shit. There's some interesting situations with the whole pregnant chick stuck in the car. That it's really tense.
How about the girl going down to save her? There's all these branches. By the way, that just looked good. Like,
yes,
it just looked
in
good
the
and
car,
believable and realistic. There was a few shots, like there's one early on, like before it really kicks off, where you see the winds do whip through and like rip the roof off of a building, and I was like, "Fuck, that looked impressive. That looked good." Like when the levee breaks and the water comes in, it looked pretty good. It didn't look terrible. But anyway, how about how the chick comes down with a kitchen knife? She's gonna saw through this tree with a kitchen knife. Well, that's not how kitchen knives work.
Plans. There's a lot of MacGyver shit on here, but I had fun with it, man. I don't know if anything is as iconic as something like Crawl or say, never meets Jaws levels anywhere near close. But there's some fun stuff, like when the two dudes come out on the raft and they're getting taken out initially. Then the fucking fuck up stepdad where he gets his hand bitten off, and there's some fun.
Fuck him, and they're talking. Then he pops up out of nowhere. There could have been more humor. There was. Yes. I mean, there were some funny.
It took itself a little seriously.
You know what bit I really liked was early on, the guy that was driving the blood truck with the beef blood in it. First of all, I liked him like pretty instantly. I thought he was going to be like a main character in there, but the levee breaks and the water's coming in, and there's a hill that goes up, and he's trying to make it to that hill before the water reaches it. And I just, I don't know, I thought that was a clever idea, and I was genuinely surprised and disappointed that guy died that early on. I already kind of I liked him.
Thought he was going to be one of the ones, but no, yeah, man. I thought it was well crafted in the sense that, I don't think any of the three movies we're covering today have a necessarily super strong plots. Like, they're all like debatably paper thin. Mm-hmm. But I think it was smart in this movie for Thrash to focus on different groups. It could have easily just been the chick and the pregnant chick and the Damon Hines who's trying to get to her. But it was smart to include like the kids. It gave you those were the moments of levity, I guess.
Right?
You had the most fun with those scenes.
They were the funniest part.
Yeah, it's like it reminded me of some shit like Three Ninjas. Very vaguely, I was just like, okay, three kids on their own handling some business. Fuck yeah, let's get to it.
It gets absurd, and like I liked that, but there's some tonal clash in this. I feel like with the way that the movie starts, it's taking it more seriously. I feel like.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it twice, and this was like a week and a half ago. But by the end, like the bit where they're like, "All right, we're gonna throw a bomb with some bait in it, and the sharks are gonna come in, and it's gonna blow up." It's like, oh my god! And
it's off the walls. They're pulling some MacGyver shit to be the kids. To be honest, are probably the smartest characters in the movie if we're looking at the shit they pull off.
For sure.
But I can't lie and say I wasn't impressed. Like, there's a lot of The Fear Street, the most recent Fear Street, I regret every minute I wasted watching that movie.
Oh,
You
the
know,
prom queen one. Yeah,
Prom
yeah.
Queen, yes.
No, 1,000%. And that's a good idea or a good example of like something should have been simple. It's a slasher
Yes.
movie. Like just do these few things and make it good, make it passable, and it's part of horror history. And
Right.
it missed. And this, I think it no, I said earlier, like, oh, it's not going to get mentioned with Crawl and that, but it will get mentioned in the next tier. Like people
Yeah.
will watch
It's
this and it'll stay
yeah.
watchable for quite a while.
There's some fun to be had, bro.
Now correct me if I'm wrong, because this is the one thing I can't really remember, and it could have been better. I don't think I know at one point Damon Hasu, if that's how you say his name, they do meet up. Whatever they do, join the fight right at the proper time. The fucking great white shark comes up and saves their lives, or whatever. But they meet up, but the kids and the pregnant woman and Damon Hasu's niece, they never meet up and are all together, or are they? Right? They never
No, I
join the
think
two stories together.
no, I was gonna say I think the kids are always dead. That was just like I think someone reviewed this film and was like, no, we got to add some fun to it, and the kids subplot was added because the kids subplot, if I'm remembering correctly, was entirely its own. They survived, but they never met up with like Damon Hansu and the
Right.
pregnant
And they
chick or any of
they
it.
should have, I think. I know
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
there's not a rule to shit. You can do it however you want, but I think it would have taken a little bit more skill in the writer's room to pull that off and make that
I mean,
time.
but shit, Damon Hansu, he could have easily. I mean, now that you bring it up, he could have easily just came across them as he was searching for his niece and picked them up after their
Right.
you know, because it was cool. But when that shark was charging at the car, and you know they're thinking it's fucking done, and then the other giant fucking shark grabs that shark, you know, like if shit like that is happening, why can't Damon Hansu have coincidentally found the kids on his way to find his niece and shit, you know,
Right. Or
you know.
even in like the aftermath. Like, hey, oh, you know what I mean? Once they'd met up and they're
Flagging
rescued,
them
you
down or
also
something.
rescue them and tie them
Yeah,
all together. Oh, you guys okay? Yeah, we're okay. Or they could have even been like in a house where they're almost in communication, like they're like talking to each other through signs or whatever. They could have tied those two elements together. But whatever.
yeah.
I mean, don't got to be too picky. There is a line.
No, but
I wish I would have went back and checked out what the line is, because I keep saying it to my wife, and I don't even think I'm saying it right, but I laugh so hard. The woman has the baby. Spoiler alert. The pregnant woman has the fucking baby in the middle of all this. She still has the umbilical cord. They're out. They're in the water. There's a shark coming at her. She's like, hold on, baby. And she cuts the umbilical cord, puts the baby on a box. She's like, because mommy's got to fuck this shark up.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, God. It was so stupid.
That was like the biggest Hollywood moment of the movie because I was like, oh shit, bro. Like you know, they're making scene childbirth like you're just good to go afterwards. You know, she like I don't know. It was very you got to suspend your suspension of disbelief.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that she had a MacGyver moment right there. I shout out to her. That was a wild moment though, because I was like, she's put the baby on the board like Jack and Rose from Titanic while she fucks and then takes out a shark with a knife, and it's wild.
Cuts the umbilical cord with like a stick. I think it wasn't even a knife; it was like a fucking stick. But anyway, let's not spend too much time on it, man. Let's go ahead and move on. But let's grade this thing first. I'm gonna give it. Dude, I did enjoy it, but I still want to be like reasonable. It is what it is. It's not fucking perfect. It's just big dumb fun. The sharks could have been a lot better in certain situations, in certain kills, but there's enough there, man. I'll give it a respectable 3.25. I think it's, you know, it for what it is, it was pretty good. I was entertained by it. But what do you think?
I'm right there. I was gonna give it a 3, but I think I think it's not, you know, 3 is solid, but I think there's enough here. I think I was really expecting shit when I turned this on, and I was pleasantly surprised. So I think that 0.25 bump is complimentary of that. So I'm right there with you, 3.25.
Hell yeah, man. All right, so we're in agreements. We agree on Thrash at 3.25. Go check it out. It's on Netflix. I think it's right now the number 4 movie, because of the new number 1 movie on Netflix is called Apex, by the way, with Charlize Theron.
Gotta check that out.
Yeah, I want to check it out too. That would have actually, it looks like it would have been a good double feature alone with Thrash. She's like on a river and some crazy shit goes down. I think there's some backwood hillbilly type action that happens in that. But all right, that's Thrash. And next up is Primate. This one came out, I think, in January. I think at the end of January. Yep. We both watched it around then. We were planning on doing a show that ended up not happening back then. But like I said earlier, this was supposed to be the When Animals Attack double feature along with Thrash last week that I got sick for. But okay. For Primate, just to set up the premise of it real quick and to say who made this thing. Made by Johannes Roberts, who began the 47 Meters Down franchise, which is, I looked it up, and they've made like over $100 million on those movies at this point. So that's definitely a feather in his cap. And another feather in his cap, at least for me, is he did Strangers Prey at Night, the sequel to The Strangers, which I greatly prefer over The Strangers. It's like the much more...
In the trailer park?
Yeah, yes.
I gotta rewatch that one. I remember I gotta revisit that because I saw it when it first came out. I remember being torn by it. Like there were parts where I enjoyed it. Like I think it was more style. Like I respected the style of it more of the first one, but I gotta revisit it because like this was like 2018, 2019. Wasn't vetted like I am now in the horror genre. I was still a little wet behind the ears. But that's one I've been meaning to revisit that I'm curious about how
we should do it. I think it would definitely be worth doing. Like I watched it when we did The Strangers not too long back, maybe like 6 months, a year ago. But The Strangers, the original, is like so slow to me. And this one is not that at all. I feel like it
dives right into
kind of an action-packed movie comparing it to the original one. It's really, there's a lot going on.
That's a good contrast.
He also did, and this is one that I've never seen that I assume you have, the Resident Evil reboot, Welcome to Raccoon City.
Bro, I watched that weirdly enough. Hand of God. I watched that like 2 days ago. Like I'm
for the first time?
Resident Evil. No, revisiting and rewatching it. I watched it when it came out, didn't like it. I was like, maybe it'll be a little different. Still don't like it, but I didn't hate it as much. Yeah, he was trying to do. His heart was on the right place with that one, but yeah, interesting.
I had a feeling that you would say that because I know you've seen those movies. I need to catch up. I've never seen any of the Resident Evil movies, but anyway, the premise for this one, there's a monkey. Okay, there's a chimpanzee, goes by the name of Ben, played by a man in a suit. The entire movie, there's a little bit of animatronics on the face, and they touch it up with a little CG here and there. But it's a man in the suit, and it looks, in my opinion, it looks great. He has a deaf owner, and he's a smart monkey. He can talk with an iPad and things of that nature. He's a good boy, and he lives in this house. I think they're on Hawaii. Yeah, they're on Hawaii. Everybody in the cast fucking looks like somebody. The lead looks like Captain Marvel to me. The other one looks like Scarlett Johansson to me. Ben looks like every fucking monkey I've ever seen.
Like the best friend reminded. It's funny you said it because I was like, man, she looks like the best friend. Kind of reminds me of Olivia Munn, if anybody's familiar with her.
Yes, yeah.
But there's a lot of they look reminiscent. I feel like that's why they're casted. Like we'll draw them in because they kind of look similar to that person.
Totally. I think a lot of people get roles because, like, you know what? I think we can kind of fool people at first glance. But anyway, pretty much it's just like Cujo. Cujo is you get a dog bitten that gets rabies, and you got a family, mother and a son trapped in a car. And this is a mongoose bites Ben. Ben gets rabies, and we've got a group of partiers stuck in a pool for the majority of the movie because Ben can't swim, fucking luckily. But it starts out, it's like got some gnarly slasher kills. And here's the thing about this movie. I think in a way, I think you could definitely make a very, very strong argument that this is the best movie and the most well-made movie that we're talking about today. And it is in a lot of ways. It's like probably got a bigger budget than both the other two movies. Solid. It's solid, but I'm going to have a hard time reviewing this movie. There's just something about it I don't fucking like. I don't know what it is, but I'm just waiting for it to get over. I watched this one twice, and it's like, it's good. There's enough shit going on, but I'm like, get out of the pool. I don't know. There's something about it I just don't fucking like. It's really dark. I don't know.
This one is like, to what you said earlier, it's like technically probably the most well-made movie by technical standards, but it's the most safe movie as well, which can be boring. It's like the most by the numbers movie out of the trio we're reviewing.
Not bad though. Don't get me wrong.
Not
I
bad.
do
No,
enjoy things
not
about it.
bad.
I understand, like if you know, there's a lot of people. I remember when it came out, I was hearing like, "Oh, that's a good theater movie. People are having fun watching that," and maybe that's what it was. It's just something that's not as fun to me about it. I don't know. I really don't know. And it is good, but I still don't like it.
We were talking about this, but it's definitely wasn't, you could not confirmed, but it feels like it was inspired by the Nope monkey or chimp scene where he like crashes out on the set of the show. I don't know if it's because like they kind of use some like more like CGI real chimp in that movie, but you know, the animatronics or the costume works in this one.
Oh yeah, I think it looks great. I think he looks great, and he's super fucking scary.
I don't know if it's like that thing for humans with Uncanny Valley, where it's because we know it's someone in a costume that doesn't. There's something that doesn't really click sometimes. Like I feel like with this wild, especially because Ben had rabies. And that makes him more aggressive. I don't think he would have been too insightful to kind of like. I feel like he would have just fucking dove in the pool and let me try to attack you motherfuckers until I can't anymore, you know?
Especially at parts of the movie, he's using the keys.
Yeah, too calculated.
He's taking the jaw. He's acting like he's like playing with this torn off jaw.
Talking. Yeah.
Which is whatever. Like I don't even know. I think it's just the fact that I want more kills. I remember looking at it, and there was like I was 53 minutes into the movie, like when I paused it to go to the bathroom or whatever, and looking and seeing like, oh, there's only a half hour left of this movie, and I feel like almost nothing has happened.
Because you know what the difference? So between this and Thrash, the difference is like Thrash knows what it is. Thrash doesn't try to. It's got the melodrama, but it doesn't linger on it. This lingers on the melodrama. You got the best friends who aren't really getting along, chicks, she got a friend trying to still do what she's into. They're inviting different dudes over. She's got a sister. There's a lot of melodrama this movie focuses on, when it's really people came to see this for a fucking rabies infected chimp fucking some shit up, like totally. We don't care about the soap opera drama, and they linger on that a little too much in this movie.
And I did like that jokes.
Yeah, there wasn't. It took itself too seriously. Yep. No, I totally agree. I
think that's the biggest problem. It's too dark in a lot of scenes. It takes itself just a little too seriously. It could have there's just like a few things that I think could have really pumped this up for me and made it a much more like fun watch. But I respect it though. Like I like the kills that we get. They do go there for a couple of the kills, but we could have used one or two more, and we could have used some more levity throughout. And less melodrama. All the characters are fine, but just there's not enough there. There's not enough there.
Everybody, I feel like everybody was like, this is my role. Nobody was like trying to be the joke, or like everybody was like, yeah, I'm in. I don't know. There's something about. I did like the dad. I did. Shout out to the dad. He, I actually seen him in last year. There was a show. I think it was, from remembering correctly, The Beast in Me, or The Beast Within Me, or something like that. He played another dad in that role. But he is a deaf actor, so it was cool to see him.
I figured he was,
yeah. But I mean, he for. I think that there's a gift in that, like, because I'm thinking of like Love Drive, But Ryan Gosling barely says shit in that, I think there's a gift in that, really, because a lot of stuff it's very vocal species, so it's like a lot of stuff is based on subtleties and how we say things and tunes and stuff like. So for an actor to be memorable without you ever hearing them, I think is a big gift, and he was like the most memorable to me.
He's got a face on him. He's super expressive.
Yes.
Like the few deaf people that I know, like I grew up with a kid named Joey that's been deaf his whole life. He was my age and shit. And he's very like, we got along really well because I was really animated, and I feel like we could really communicate without me knowing sign language. But he's like got one of the most expressive faces expressive faces out of anybody that I know. And this is, it's a trait of a lot of deaf people, I think.
Yeah, we need to give more actors a chance, deaf actors, because to be honest, I think I don't know any prominent deaf actors, to be honest. And this dude is like he's very memorable, like you said, very expressive, and I think that's a core of trait of any actor. But yeah, I mean, it's up there with Thrash, where don't go in there expecting this to like change your life. It's got some solid kills, but I think this movie tried to be a little bit. We want to see fucking after fucking Nope. Hey, that's almost like some clown shit. Everybody's got a fear of like, we've heard of like, that chimpanzee that attacked that lady. Do you ever hear about that? Like years ago, like 2009, maybe she owned a chimpanzee and it like obliterated her friend and stuff. Like
I don't know about that specific one, but I've heard some shit. They'll rip your testicles off and like, yeah.
They're savage. That's what I'm saying. A rabies enhanced chimpanzee. Like, if you've done your research, you should be. This movie played a very PG-13 compared to where it should have taken it.
I can see.
And then there's, like I said,
I think it did pretty well. I could see there being Primates coming out in 2028 or whatever. Like, there could be a sequel to this one.
Let me talk about some positives.
$21 million budget, $41 million box office. So it doubled its budget.
It made it and deservedly so. And I would love to see a sequel for. I think that is the case with most often with first movies. It's like you give the premise and then you can kind of enhance it with a sequel, like make on promises that you introduce or you couldn't do with the first budget. But there's enough there. But I could have done without the like. I so feel you. This when we weren't with Ben and shit, it was reminding me of like the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, where it's like I know these beats, I know what's coming, like get to the kills, where that's where Thrash was a little bit different, where it knew what it was. This one is like, unless you got someone like fucking James McAvoy playing a character, like I don't want to spend much time on these characters, bro. They're not.
The big thing that they have like the love triangle. You've got the main character. There's a boy that she likes, but there's the one girl there that she doesn't really like. That's going after the boy, and they set that up, and then they kill the boy, and then they kill the other best friend. So it's just those two together. There's a dynamic there that they could have handled that aspect of it a lot better. They spent time on that in the plot, setting it up, and like I feel like we never got the payoff there.
No, we never get. There's no fruit. That's what I'm saying. It's like wasted time. If you're gonna set up some drama like this, some melodrama, like make sure it goes somewhere. We have some payoff. Like you said, they laid it out, and then fucking was like, oh, we forgot about it.
Right. We killed everybody. We forgot that. Oh shit! Did we kill them already? We never did pay that off.
Right.
Everyone's dead. All right, whatever. But all right, I say we just wrap it up, man. I want to go watch the Magic play the Detroit Pistons. So I think we done did it, man. We gave these movies what they deserved. I started the last one. I don't know what I'll do with this one, but yeah, go ahead and kick it off for us, man. What are you giving Primate out of 5?
But this one solid 3, right below Thrash. But I feel like Thrash knew what it wanted. I think both of these are fun experiences. They're not going to change your life, but you're not going to go into more like, fuck, why did I watch that? It could be a case a lot of times. But there's some fun to be had with these movies, and I would I'd go see Thrash 2. I'd go see Primate 2, whatever. There's enough there that it warrants me to see a sequel. So, I'd give it a solid 3.
And just to reiterate, like the look of the monkey, I respect them not going CG.
Yes.
The animatronic with the man in the suit, they really, really made it work. And I hope there's more monkey movies after this, because we've got 1 million shark movies. I'd rather have 1 million monkey movies, because monkeys are freaky. They're just like really scary. They can be on land. Don't get me wrong. There's something really scary about being in the water.
And there's similarities to us is another thing that enhances that scariness, because it's like sharks don't have arms and limbs and, like, so it's, they definitely needs to be more of in this vein.
And you could see a version of this where they're like doing Terrifier kill after Terrifier kill, where
Just
like
savage shit.
they're
Yes.
ripping limbs
Yeah.
off, and don't get me wrong, they have it, but there's a lot of like I don't know, there's not enough kills. How about like the bit where he rips the jaw off? That's really gnarly. And the bit where he bites the younger sister in the leg, that was one of the gnarly parts of the movie. Like, I don't know.
I thought he
I
was
didn't
gonna rip
like
it off.
as soon as I think that's a big part of it, man. As soon as they're trapped in the pool, there's something about that just like I didn't like. I want like get out of the fucking pool. I'd rather them be like running around a neighborhood or run around this big giant mansion from this monkey than like, oh, we got to be trapped in this pool. That for some reason like bothered me.
Because the reasonings for being in the pool didn't match up after a while. Like if it would have just been a certain portion, then we would have made sense. But after a while, it got to a point like, okay, you motherfuckers are stupid. You're just missing your mark. There's a reason why you guys are gonna die trapped.
You guys could have been hiding here by this point. There's been
Yeah.
enough times that you snuck out of the pool to get a cell phone. Like
Yes.
go somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. They get on the roof. I was about to say get on the roof, but I'm pretty sure a monkey could get on a roof probably better than we could. I don't know. Maybe they were right. But so yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'm gonna give it a 3 too. Like there's almost like an outside factor. Like I don't know if I just wasn't. I watched it twice, and I think I wasn't in the right headspace both times. Like it's not. I know it's not as bad as like my experience with the movie is. By the end of it, I'm like, okay, I'm fucking over it. But it's like it wasn't that bad. So
I think it's like
more me than the movie.
3.5. Like I think a 4 is too way too kind. But I think like a 3.5 is like, you know, like it's fun. Like, you know, a 4, I think a 4 has to start something like Dolly, where it's like something memorable. Where you're like, okay, I could see like, you know,
Dolly's super standout. Out of these 3, Dolly's the new horror icon to a degree.
Yeah,
like for sure, with the potential to grow and become much bigger. I like what you said. Like Art the Clown, there was a lot of like horror heads that really knew who Art the Clown was after the first Terrifier in 2016. But at that point, I don't think I knew who he was. But 2 put him on the map, like, and really blew him up. I could see that happening with Dolly in a big way. But definitely the standout. If I was to recommend like to a horror fan, well, all 3 of these movies, you would recommend to different people. Some people you'd be like, go watch Thrash, go watch Primate, enjoy that. But a slasher horror head, I would be like, check Dolly out for sure.
Yeah, the hardcore horror fans, I think, would definitely appreciate Dolly more. I think the more casual moviegoers, Primate, Thrash, right up. You know, it's an hour and some change, and you're done. It's some fun. Yeah, it's not terrible.
Hell yeah! All right, so we did it, man. Go check them out wherever they are, and check us out next Thursday. In just a few days, we're talking Christine, John Carpenter's Christine from 1983, which is crazy because the Dead Zone was 83 too. Dude, I was looking at Stephen King's bibliography, and I've always known that he's like a really fast writer, and I've always known that he loved cocaine back in the day. But it's crazy how many like boom year after year. Like he's putting out like 1 or 2 or 3 books.
And he puts out thick novels, right? Like they're fucking.
It's insane. Like how many he pumped out, like especially like in the first 10 years of his career. Like it's wildly impressive. Like the quality.
I'm not even the biggest George R.
Boom, boom.
So many writers need to take hints from King, bro. Like, you know, even like I'm not even the biggest George R. Martin fan, but it's like I just know there's this long running joke of like he's never going to finish the final book for whatever a series,
which is a bummer. He probably won't.
He needs to fucking do the King shit. Just write some shit, bro. Like that's what King said. He just writes. He just writes even when he doesn't feel like it. You know, like that. I think that's the key to any writer. Like just write.
You ever seen that? Like
the interview.
One of them. Like is George R. Martin interviewing Stephen King, and he's like, "How the fuck do you do this?" If you look at their writing, though, you can see it. Like King's obviously super talented, and he just like flows, but. I say this all the time about George R. Martin. Like, almost once a page, you're going to be like, Jesus Christ, that's a great sentence. What a sentence, man. He's such a wordsmith. I'm like, I can't believe he said that the way he said it. That was so cool.
That's facts. That's a good point. That's a good way to put it.
But all right. Christine, next Thursday. Masters of the Universe, He-Man. Right now, over at Pop Culture Philosophers. I know Brother Stu from the Thursday show is over there doing Masters of the Universe. When's the last time you saw this thing? I don't think I've seen it in like 30 years.
It's been a minute, man. I was just gonna say I gotta like my favorite Dolph Lundgren film is probably Universal Soldier. But he's great and everything. Yeah, I gotta, especially with the new one coming out, I gotta revisit this. But it's been some years.
Yeah,
I was a teenager.
He-Man was like my first, like, that I can remember, like, icon hero as a kid. Like when I was like really, really young, 3-4 years old. Like He-Man was fucking everything. But I never, like, I don't know it like a lot of people do. Like follow the
I'm right there.
mythos.
I don't know that I'm not deep into the lore, but I'm familiar with the characters. Like probably because like there's like I grew up with like a lot of like Thundercats and He-Man toys that were leftovers from like, you know, my other family members and shit. So I still got like the Skeletor figure to this day that, you know, I was never big a He-Man fan, but I always thought the figure was cool. But so it's like I know these guys. I'm just, you know, there's definitely a lot I could learn about this universe.
Yeah, I'm curious. I know, I mean, I know there was a newer thing by Kevin Smith that was super controversial, but there's not, correct me if I'm wrong, or I don't know if you know, the lore all comes from the old 80s cartoon and this movie, I guess. There is nothing between that and then, right? Is that right?
Unless they've done like some comic shit that might be like non-canon. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like it's this very specific line. They haven't spread out too much.
Right. That's what I mean. I would always be curious to go back and rewatch it, just to go back and look at the old cartoon, because I know there are a lot of adults that are like, oh no, that's the shit. And when I was a kid, I was just like, "Why have the power?" I just didn't give a shit. I was just like, He-Man and Skeletor were cool and shit. I wasn't following the lore at that 4 years old. But anyway, that's going on over on Pop Culture Philosophers. In just a few minutes, they'll be talking about Masters of the Universe. And again, next Thursday, catch us right here for Christine for The Missing Link. I'm Verno, and we'll see you on Thursday.
That will be quite enough of that.